Don't start wholesaling real estate until you know this. If you are brand new, if you are somebody that's been listening to a wholesaling real estate coach for the past 3 or 4 years, and you've been drinking the Kool-Aid and you've gotten nowhere, I'm not surprised. Obviously I'm not surprised. I know exactly why you're struggling. I know why you're getting nowhere, and I'll explain it today. I'm not here to poop on any other wholesaling influencer out here, but if you've been listening to the same people that have been telling you the same old things and tactics in wholesaling that actually aren't doing wholesaling real estate deals or don't even know how assignments work anymore in this new age of wholesaling, you're cooked. You're done. You're struggling, right? And if someone's been just telling you just to pull a list and cold call and that's how you're going to have all the success, you're done. That's what everyone's been doing. And that's why most people continue to be struggling in this business. And so what I need to do is re-brainwash you to learn exactly the right ways to talk to sellers, wholesale real estate, find cash buyers, dispo, and do all these things. And so if you're ready in the art of wholesaling real estate, okay? In wholesaling real estate, if you're actually going out here and struggling and not knowing what you have to do, I'm just going to give it all easily done today. If you're somebody that goes out here and continues to go out here and struggle, right? If you're somebody that, hold on, make sure this is all working here. Looks like it's glitching out for a second. Oh man, hold on. Make sure we're all good. Making sure the stream's going smooth. I might have to restart this sucker now. Sounded like a banshee in here. I don't know why. Hold on. Let's make sure we're all good. All right. I think it's working. Hello. Currently testing. Hello. All right, it's working good. All right. So wholesaling real estate is a very stupid, simple process. You find a motivated seller, you lock up a contract, and then you sell the contract for a finder's fee. This has always been what wholesaling real estate has fundamentally been. And somehow, in the years of this business, people have skewed it into multiple things. Oh, we are these crazy acquisitions agents for these massive multinational corporations with funding departments and this, and we've also gone into, we are just wholesalers that sell contracts and that's all we do. We don't do anything else. And cash buyers aren't our partners. We've gone into, hey, I absolutely go out here and hate wholesaling, and I'm actually house flipping's elite, and we're gonna graduate from wholesaling one day and we're never gonna wholesale ever again because it sucks, it's terrible, it's for people who are broke. And I get people telling me creative finance is the greatest thing in the world. All these people throw things at me, land, novations, all, and there's all this just like people talking, and there's always been this kind of cloud over just the clear view of what you need to do, which is seek motivated sellers, write contracts for deep discounts, and then sell the contracts to happy, hungry cash buyers. And when you just kind of add extra things, you add extra components and you constantly try to innovate and do all these things, you end up breaking the engine. The best example of this are German cars, okay? I don't know if you know how German cars work, but pretty much how Germans do cars is they take a car, they over-engineer the snot of that thing, and they always add more components, and they try to tweak everything by 1% and 2% every year until it's just bigger and bigger and bigger and more complicated and more fine-tuning, and then they try to naturally aspirate the engines, and then they put the turbo on, and they just keep adding, and just it gets way more complicated, and you end up having like a $700 oil change for your BMW. That's pretty much how German cars work, is it's just over-engineered. They put too much things that make it too complicated. I don't know if you ever had a Honda, a Toyota, like a Japanese car. They pretty much try to make the thing as simple and reliable as possible that has the least amount of maintenance that can go the farthest. That's why Japanese cars are usually the best when it comes to reliability. Okay, don't even try getting a Ford. All right. And the craziest, funniest things about it is that is how people look at wholesaling real estate. So if you ever want to know why the Germans lost World War II for a variety of factors, which I'd probably go on a full 5-hour lecture of this. One of the big contributors is their tanks were over-engineered, just how Germans do cars. And their tanks always constantly broke down. The German tanks always broke down. And that was a major, major issue for them. And the American tanks never broke down because they didn't over-engineer it like crazy. They didn't have the crazy Germans going nuts, okay? So the funniest part about it is the same thing happens in wholesaling real estate. We have this amazing operation. We have this amazing wholesaling business. And we always go out here and we tend to overcomplicate things. We tend to overdo it and overthink this, right? We add too much components. We add too much complexity in here. And you always want to know why you can't become successful, why you can't start making money. The biggest reason here is you're just overcomplicating this. And so let's go back out here and simplify this business, make it way easier, all right? So the good news is coming in wholesaling real estate in 2025, we're about to hit an insane run-up. And I don't want to be Mr. like Zach Crystal Ball type guy, but we are about to hit an insane run-up. We have a very, very strong indication. Now, I can never say the word guarantee ever, but we have a very strong indication that the Fed is going to be lowering interest rates. Now, is it going to happen at the end of 2025? It's still up there, but most people are betting for that to happen, and then at least 1 to 2 rate cuts in 2026. Again, I need to look at the latest. I always look at Vegas odds, because it tends to actually be the most accurate. So if you ever want to know who's going to win like a football game, just look at what Vegas says, and that is usually on the money. Okay, Vegas thinks the 49ers are going to beat the Saints. Most likely it's going to never guarantee, but 7 times out of 10, it's always going to be true, right? So Vegas odds have chosen the president like 9 out of 10 times, which is insane. Like if you want to know who's going to be the next president, just see what the Vegas odds are the night before the election, and I think Vegas was literally only wrong about 2016. I think that was like the only year Vegas was wrong on a presidential election in the past like 30 years, which is crazy. But we're about to hit an insane run up because we're going to see a cut in interest rates, an insane just spike in transaction volume. I see so many people, okay, so many wholesalers, all right, that go out here and they try to predict everything. Let me just tell you what's going to happen. Last time interest rates spiked down by like 0.25% or 0.5%, we had an insane, almost like 30% increase. I gotta look at the numbers, like an insane increase, an insane spike of transaction volume. And if we get interest rates to about 4%, high 5s, low 5s, high 4s, right, like 4.8 or something like that, we are going to have an insane amount of refis. We are going to have an insane amount of people actually selling a house to rebuy a house at 4%, right? We're going to have a lot of people getting rid of their like 4% mortgages just to sell it and buy another house at 4%, right? We are going to have an insane run up in wholesaling, because in wholesaling real estate, we tend to always make our money not based off the price of the house, but it's off of just transaction volume, right? It's kind of like day trading to a point. Day traders do good when there's a high amount of activity, not when there's a low amount of activity. And so the cool part about that in wholesaling is the same concept, where if the amount of transactions happening, if it's high, a lot of people want to sell. That means there's more motivated sellers out there. And then if there's more motivated sellers, which means there's more people trying to buy and sell homes, there's more buyers, and cash buyers buy more and then they sell more, right? So if you look at a chart, transaction volume, right, in the United States of America, like a historical chart, right, you're going to notice something very, very interesting. And as somebody that's been wholesaling real estate, okay, for a very long time, almost 9 years now, if you look at existing home sales, right, so let's look at the existing home sale data from 1995 to 2004, and you're going to see some insane stats here, all right? So 7.8, yeah. All right. So if you want to look at the stats here, let me pop this one up. So let's not do commercial, let's do residential, and let's do max. Does it have a 10-year chart? No. Okay, is this mortgage news? Okay, this is great. Okay. So if you want to look at the stats and really just look at that right here, this is the existing home sale data. So if you look at existing home sale data, right here, you have existing home sales. Now, existing home sales, remember, the United States population was a lot lower in the 90s, But if you looked all the way up to like 2005, you're at like 7 million like home sales in the month, right? Absolutely. Actually, I think it's the month. 4 for the year. I'll look at the stack data later. But change month over April. Okay. So you see we're about 7 million up here. Then it crashed down to like 4 million in 2009. That's like no one's buying or selling real estate. Guess what? We literally have the same volume as, even worse. We have even worse volume than 2009. Remember, no one is buying or selling theoretically in 2008, 2009, which is crazy. Think about that. And then it spiked down to 5 million in 2015. Right when I was getting started wholesaling 2016, 2017, where I was at 5 million. So we had about, what's 1 divided by 4? I had about 30% more transaction volume getting started than you guys were at now. And it was running up until 2020 when things went to like 6 million and then everything jacked down like crazy. Like, I mean, if we look at the past 5 years, it's just been lower transaction volume. I've been making more money because I just got better in this business. And we're seeing a little, you see, everyone's seen a big spike in wholesaling, goes down and up, and we're about 4 million now. I'm telling you right now, you see this quantitative easing like right about here. Right about 5 million, they started upping the interest rates. And so it went from about roughly 4 all the way to 5. So if we can get to about 4 right now, which we're at currently now, and then get interest rates and push it down to 5, even 7 million, we are going to be having 40, 50% more deals coming in for us. Holy moly. That is the truth. It's absolutely insane right now. So just understand that we are very, very close for an insane spike in wholesaling real estate of us actually going out here and getting a ton of transaction volume. But we got to learn, right? This is what we're seeing kind of in the next year. So what I'm telling you is wholesaling real estate is just going to be getting easier and easier in the next year when it comes to the amount of wholesaling deals out there. And when transaction volume goes up, which hopefully it'll keep going up, we are going to see, I'm hoping for this, right? More cash buyers buying and just more motivated sellers looking to sell, which would be great. And so how do we prepare for this getting started, right? So if you want to start wholesaling real estate right now, I'm going to tell you first and foremost, you need to be going out here and just talking to motivated sellers to close a wholesaling deal. Now everyone's like, Zach, duh, of course you gotta talk to motivated sellers, bro. This is you're just speaking easy. This is simple. Everyone knows that. Not really. I said motivated sellers. What this basically means is if you're talking to somebody who's looking to sell their house and they're not motivated, which means they don't have a reason why they want to get rid of the house, the door is that way. I do not want to be speaking to you or dealing with you. Really think about this for a second. If somebody is not motivated, I don't know if I want to sell or not, like, don't talk to them. What's the point? Why are you trying to talk to people that don't want to sell the property? What is the point? This is so stupid. Guys, don't be going out here and talking to people that just aren't interested in selling. And so right now, we need to be speaking to people that are motivated, not I'm thinking about it, or maybe I want to sell. No, they need to be motivated to sell the property. Number 2, this is very important if you want to start having some success. Hold on. There you go. You need to show up every single day. Consistency is essential for your success here. If you do not show up every single day, do not expect results. Do not expect to get rich. Do not expect to make any money. This is anything in life. The best analogy I can give to you is basically playing a video game. If you play a video game every single day, you just get better by doing it. And you enjoy playing video games because you do it every single day and it's fun. Because think about this, you treat wholesaling as, oh my gosh, this is a grind, it sucks. But you'll treat video games as something fun and exciting. But you ended up playing 3 hours of Call of Duty last night and you cold call for 3 hours and you thought the 3 hours of cold calling is torture. And you went out here and you did 3 hours of video games like it's fun. It's kind of like when you see an NFL player that's just like so sick and tired of playing football and they're like, I just couldn't play football anymore. And you got guys like, I play football every single weekend for fun. Well, no, that guy does it as a job. So when you start treating your passion as a job, that's when you start resenting it. So for example, there are people out here that are professional like streamers for video games. Like they play video games as a job. And then they end up hating playing the video game because it's a chore, it's a job. They have to do it, not that they get to do it. And when you start treating wholesaling real estate as something you have to do versus something you get to do, then you start feeling resentment, hatred. You don't feel good about wholesaling real estate. So what I need you to start doing is look at wholesaling real estate as a privilege. Just imagine if there's a magic wand that actually banned wholesaling, like people started being swept off the street for wholesaling houses and you couldn't do it anymore. Like, oh, I wish I'd do anything just to be able to wholesale. But you're not. It drives me crazy. So just understand, in wholesaling real estate, if you show up every single day, you're going to have success. On top of that too, data is readily available everywhere. I want everyone to understand this fact too. Now, this is why, the average wholesaling guy telling you just to pull a list and text or call, it's why they're not winning. And this is why you're not winning either. I don't know what your wholesaling real estate coaches have been telling you the past 5 or 6 years. I don't really watch them. But the one thing I will tell you is, I mean, I don't know who's been playing this like psyop to you that skip tracing is very valuable and you need to be spending money on it. Whoever's been spewing these crazy lies that it's okay, you should, it's actually good to spend 14, like goofy, it's good to spend 15 cents for skip traces. Like, who is gaslighting you here? Like, it's normal to spend $4,000 a month in skip tracing. Bro, like, I remember in 2019, I was doing that. That was 6 years ago. I used to have long hair. I used to think of some weird stuff too, okay? All right? Like I was a lot more broke back then, okay? Even though I was making good money. Like I used to do some very questionable things as a teenager when I was 18, 19, and one of them was paying for skip tracing. But when people tell you that, oh, you need to pay for skip tracing, that makes it valuable. Like, yeah, back in the day, you just couldn't go pull a high equity list of 20,000 records and you had to drop like $3,000 to get that 20,000 list skip traced. Now, if you use X Leads for $97 a month, you get 25 skips just included for free. But we have wholesaling real estate influencers, and I'm not going to name them because there's just too many to name. I'm just talking about the whole industry in general. But like, you have people legit telling you that you need to go out here and spend 12 cents, 13, 14, 15 cents on skip tracing. Oh, it's a good deal. You see, like, let's do the math. If you went to X Leads, right, you got 25,000 skips, right? And you pay 12 cents for 25,000 skips, you're dropping $3,000. Like, I don't know who's been telling you this. This is insane. And so, number one, probably the worst lies being fed right now that's just taking $36,000 a year out of your bank account are people telling you need to spend money on skip tracing. That's borderline, I'm not going to say it. It's borderline not advantageous for a wholesaler. That's the best way I could say it. I'm going to be very careful with my words. But all these wholesaling like software companies, like the good ones, all have free skip tracing, right? Even ones that like I don't even recommend, like some of them just like, hey, at least you get 5,000 skips for $100 a month. Like, at least you give that. Some people are, some of these software companies are just, I'm not gonna say it, but like, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And so we have real estate wholesaling influencers because they get kickbacks that they tell you should spend $3,000 a month. I mean, I go after people for charging $4,000 or $5,000 for wholesaling coaching, but to tell somebody they got to spend $15,000 a year in skip tracing on top of their $10,000 coaching program, insanity for me. I don't even understand it. And so data is readily available everywhere. Okay. So like the free skip tracing is democratized now. It's free. All right. So I don't hear anyone complaining, and all the sources, like all the top sources, they're using the same stuff pretty much. Free skip tracing is here for everyone. I mean, that's almost 3 years old now. So we can't be playing this stupid game anymore. Okay. Like free skip tracing is kind of everywhere. Now, X Leads always is on the forefront of this because I'm not trying to make money on X Leads. I'm trying to help people out, but everyone knows that, right? I mean, the all-in-one wholesaling software thing should be something too. I'm not going to say that because it's too much of a plug for X Leads, but like, if someone's selling you a software for pulling a list and skip tracing, and then they're trying to sell you a CRM and a dispo software, I mean, like the future of wholesaling software, this is why I literally created X Leads. I'm trying to get all the softwares to be all in one, so everyone just stops upcharging you. So I had to go out here and make free skip tracing. Like I said, screw it. I'm gonna give 25,000 skips, because the reason why I made sure on version 3 X Leads has 25,000 skips at the basic plan is because I know every other wholesaling software company is gonna have to raise, their exports to 25,000, and it just helps everyone. And I don't care if I have to be the one that doesn't make money on the X Leads for that, but like I'm willing to do that. On top of the two, everyone's telling you that you gotta go like spend money on these like dispo softwares, which are sometimes really expensive. There's a million of them out there now. But like, I mean, you can just pull a cash buyers list on X Leads. Plenty of other wholesaling softwares have cash buyers lists with good skip tracing. You just pull that list and call them and text them. Done. X Leads, you can post your deal. There's a ton of softwares now you can start posting your own deals now. And you just post your own wholesaling deal, list it, and then blast it out via email. There's nothing special one software does over the other when it comes to listing a property that I've personally seen. Now, some softwares are really good too, but I'm just telling everyone, like the data side in this business is kind of everywhere. On top of the two, AI comping, this is insane. If you're in a disclosure state, right? So let me just give everyone kind of what I mean by that, right? Because if you're a beginner, you might not know. If you live outside of Alaska, Louisiana, Montana, Texas, Utah, New Mexico, Mississippi, Idaho, Kansas, Missouri, North Dakota, Wyoming, AI, like ChatGPT, I'm not even call it AI. Let's make it even easier, okay? ChatGPT comping is like insane. I'm just being honest with you. Now, nobody wants to agree with me. No, like I'll be straight with you. If you're a beginner in wholesaling, ChatGPT is just going to comp your properties for you. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to stop you from spending 60 minutes or 2 hours comping a single property. AI will just comp the houses for you, and then boom, you're done. So I would highly encourage, if you're somebody who's just struggles, and you're broke, just go to ChatGPT, have it comp the properties for you. Everybody laughed at me. I want everyone to understand this. I was a laughing stock to a lot of people 4 years ago. I think 3 or 4 years ago. I think 4 years ago, when I made the first video about wholesaling real estate and AI. And I was teaching people about this new thing called ChatGPT and how it's going to affect wholesaling. I said, hey, I am going to say this on a limb, but I'm pretty sure in the next year or two, ChatGPT and AI is going to be able to comp properties for you. And everybody, loser. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, but no, like it's not that, comping's not that complicated. It's apples to apples, oranges to oranges. And it's very similar to comping a car. Just being honest with you. So if you had, and I'm telling this right now, okay, I don't want to fangirl out right now, but I was driving today and we're going to a coffee shop. And this old man pulled up to the coffee shop and I'm pulling out and homeboy just pops in with a Ford GT. Okay, I don't think, I know if you're not like into cars or whatever, you don't understand this, but when somebody pulls next to you up in a Ford GT, you have to get out of the car and just start just like you just got to roll the red carpet out and just, give the man whatever he wants for free. Right. I mean, that thing is insane. And everyone else just doesn't care. They're like, oh, what is it? It looks like a Corvette. It's like a Ford Corvette. Bro, that's like a $700,000 car. And homeboy's just sitting, just walking around like nothing, right? And the craziest part about it is money can go anywhere, right? Anyone can go make a ton of money in this world. And that's pretty inspiring for me. I'm like, bro's just casually curbing his car, basically, in a $700,000 car. But the point I'm trying to make here is ChatGPT is going to basically do the same thing they do on comping cars. And so if you want to go out here, if this guy's a 2005 Ford GT, all you have to do is go to AI and say, okay, scrape every single sale in Florida of a 2005 Ford GT. Here's the mileage that car has. Look at other mileages it has. Done. Well, I said, well, AI was able to do car comping pretty easy because cars are way easier to comp than a house. Well, if you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? If there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath and it's 2,000 square feet, this is the age. And of course there's a million variables, but if AI can do kind of how cars comp, they can do what houses do, because the variables, it's never going to be perfect, but it can get about 85% there. Now, the only variables is we don't see the inside of the house, but we're only comping for ARV, so that doesn't really even matter because the inside shows the repairs. And so I said ChatGPT is going to be able to comp, and I was the laughing stock for everyone's just laughing at me. Oh, how did that right? And then I said ChatGPT is going to be able to text your sellers. They said, yeah, right. I said ChatGPT is going to be able to call your sellers and answer your inbound calls, and everyone started laughing at me for that one. And then I started working on softwares in wholesaling so you can be able to do that because everyone was laughing at me. I literally pitched, I'm like, hey, how about we have AI text your sellers? And then some of these software company CEOs were just laughing at me saying, yeah, right. I'm not doing that. Okay, fine. I'll just go do it myself. I'll figure out how I can bring it to the people. And the same thing happened in ChatGPT. I have a vision of where I think wholesaling is going to be, and I have to be on the forefront of it for everyone. But AI is coming. And right now, I'm very proud to say, but AI comping is really dang good. I'm pretty proud of that. So ChatGPT comping is there. So if you're the type of person that's like, oh my gosh, how much is the comps? I'm so stressed out. Just ChatGPT it. Now, I don't personally ChatGPT my own properties, but I also don't spend 30 minutes comping a house and stressing out and overthinking it. So it's up to you. But I'm telling you right now, and here's the thing, sellers are using ChatGPT. I don't know if you have a pulse on how the older generation Americans are, but I am very concerned. I don't know if you have grandparents. I'm very concerned how fast my grandparents trust ChatGPT. Okay. They're the ones who had the oldest cell phones forever. They're the ones that took 5-10 years to start using an iPhone. But bro, when they started using ChatGPT, it took them 2 months to trust the thing more than me. Okay. And the adoption of AI has been insane, but most of these sellers, even elderly sellers, they're all using ChatGPT, and they're asking ChatGPT how much my house is worth, and they're not perfect, but they're pretty dang accurate. Okay. Pretty dang accurate. Oh my gosh. So what I'm telling you right now, if your sellers are going to be using ChatGPT, and so they're actually going to get a better than a Zestimate probably valuation on their house. And so you need to know how to deal with that, because sellers are going to be looking at the stuff too. So one thing I would tell everyone is you need to go to freewholesaling.com, my free real estate wholesaling course and community, because I do not have 6 hours to really go in the science of talking a seller down on price, but you really should. And you should know some fundamentals. Oh, well, I've never had this in my company, but I know it's coming this year or next year. Well, I always get, Zillow said my house is worth this. No. You're going to start getting, ChatGPT said my house is worth this. And you're going to start getting that a lot. And so what I'm going to tell you to do is to talk them down. Just say, okay, well, did ChatGPT go inside your house and did you send it pictures of the repairs? No? Okay, well, let's go in and do that. And the one thing I will let everybody know is ChatGPT I'm just telling you, if you actually get this objection, we actually know how to crush it. I've never gotten it yet, but I know how to answer it. ChatGPT tends to overanalyze the repair cost on houses. So if someone is like obsessed with ChatGPT, they say, ChatGPT said my house is worth this. I said, well, you just go use a realtor then. Oh, I don't want to use a realtor. Okay, well, let's take pictures of the house. Let's ask ChatGPT what the repairs are. And they won't trust your ChatGPT. They're probably going to trust their ChatGPT and just say, what's the cost of the repairs on this house so it's in like HGTV condition? And most of the time, the AI is going to overestimate it. It's always going to overestimate versus underestimate. And that's going to really help you overcome that objection. We're going to start getting that a lot. And I'm telling you right now, okay, once you give ChatGPT the secret X variable, to having success, right? That's why we call X leads, because X is a variable. And once this is the variable for your wholesaling business to start blowing up and stuff. That's why I call it X leads. But the hidden variable of ChatGPT being perfect is they can comp really good. They're just bad at finding repairs because there's no actual data of the inside of the house. And so if you actually have the inside pictures of the house, you can record a video and give it to ChatGPT. Say, here's the repair, estimate the repairs. It's really good at doing it. It's usually does it. That's how you overcome that objection right there, right? But the whole AI objection, it's coming, guys. And most importantly, and this is just how you never really get screwed in wholesaling, you never struggle. I always say this, but like, go for the no. Time and time again, this has been my North Star for talking to sellers, making offers, and making the most amount of money possible. My true North Star for success in wholesaling has always been to go for the no. And I talked about this a lot on Thursday, but if you just go for the no. So if you make an offer to a motivated seller and the main goal of the offer is to get a no, to elicit a no from the seller, to make sure the seller says, no, I can't do that price. Then they counter with also a price, but it's also lower, you're gonna be winning out here, right? So the whole essence of go for no, by the way, which let me show you really quick why I tell everyone to go for no. Now we have our handy dandy little pad here to help us out. Here we go. Cha-ching. The reason why go for no works so dang well is, let's say a motivated seller right here. We got this. Okay, cool. Let's say a motivated seller is coming in the conversation and they want to sell the house for $200,000. And the MAO, let's say the MAO of the deal is like $175, right? So I have two options, right? I'm gonna use blue for me. These are my offers, okay? I could go out here and be an ethical, nice quote wholesaler, which real estate wholesaling coaches tell you, which is always embarrassing and funny. But it's just like, okay, you shouldn't make too much in the deal, so go out here and offer 150. And if my first offer to this motivated seller, and I don't go for the no, I just go for a reasonable offer of $150,000, and then the guy's gonna counter back at me. He's gonna say, well, I'm at 200. I mean, I can do 180, dude. He's gonna say, well, I can do 180. Because you know what human beings think? They're always trying to make a compromise between 200 and 150, okay? So if he spat 200 out on you and you got 150, he's gonna probably compromise in the middle. So what's 350 divided by 2? 350 divided by 2, 175. And he's probably maybe gonna concede in the middle because people need a win also. They need to feel like they win. 175 is probably where he's gonna be stuck at. And guess what? That's your MAO. And that's why so many of you guys go out here and actually lose in wholesaling. Because this is how you treat this business. This is how you treat wholesaling. Man. I don't know why I can't win here. Oh man, I don't know. Like, the reason why you're having zero success here is because you're just offering way too high out the bat. Like, my whole goal here is a no. So what I do is I go here. This is how my mind works. This is how Rick taught me wholesaling. This is how I have always been wholesaling. What is an embarrassing offer that would just absolutely embarrass the snot out of me? Like, what is an offer I can offer this person where I'm like feeling butterflies in my stomach pains, where this guy's gonna probably try to kick me in the nuts if I offer this? Because I'm so scared he's gonna try to beat me up. He's not gonna physically beat me up, but like, what's an offer where it feels like he's going to do that? So my rule is, someone's like, oh man, 130. Bro, if I offered 130, that's embarrassing. Okay, so my rule is whatever's embarrassing and scared, knock that by 25%. So whatever makes you fearful, just go 25% below that. So if I multiply 130,000 times 0.75, that's about 97. So screw it, offer 100. I know that sounds crazy, but like, offer 100. Now, the reason why I always say offer 100 is you are 100% going to get a no at 100,000. Not even close. Like you are going to get an instant no. The guy is going to say, screw you, F you. Now, if you know how to price anchor correctly, which I teach everyone in Wholesaling.com, you can use good cop, bad cop. You can do a reverse price anchor or just a regular price anchor. Oh, in the perfect world, I'd buy this at 100 because of this, and that. You need to go out here though and do this. You need to have a reason. So this is how you win on your lowball offers. You need to go out here and actually have a reason why your offer is so low. What could the reason why your offer is so low? Well, maybe it could be the repairs. Maybe it could be, well, I'm just assuming based on how much I can get for rent on the property. Maybe my partner Rick, I just say Rick, maybe my partner Rick is just such a money-hungry Scrooge. This is how he that's about the formula that he does to buy his real estate on. I don't really care what your reason. Your grandma's sneezing weird today. I don't know, right? But like, you got to go out here and make an offer that is embarrassingly low for you. And guess what he's going to do? Because he is a reasonable human being. Most human beings are really reasonable. It's called reasonableness in human beings. Most people are like this. No, it's all agreeableness, right? Agreeableness. Most of the time, that's not what he's going to like. And so he's going to have to go down, and then you're going to have to go up. And let's say you meet at the middle at, let's say, 150. So he's unreasonable, you're unreasonable, right? Guess what? Now he met at the middle, and now you are going to be in the profit. You're going to make probably $25,000 on this deal. So now, cha-ching, because you did an embarrassing lowball offer, you're going to be making $25,000. And so you want to know why. I mean, why am I a cube? Okay, that was weird. You want to know why that I have the largest real estate wholesaling community in the entire country for Wholesaling.com. Like, if you ever want to know why we have so many people winning and so many people succeeding in this business, just showing checks and checks and checks in Wholesaling.com, you want to know why we have 46,000 absolute winners in Wholesaling.com that all joined within the last year. You want to know why we have 6,000 to 7,000 new people could join the community every single month, and we have more success stories than anybody else, the most testimonials. The absolute reason why is because nobody else can get that guap, get that cheddar, get that paper for our community members more than me and Rick. It's because, first of all, we have the largest wholesaling community, and our success rate's insane. And that is why we go out here and on a regular basis, people are just showing $25,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 checks in this business. The reason why that works so dang well, the reason is because I teach everyone how to find a ton of motivated sellers, how to lowball the stinking snot out of them, and how to go out here and collect fat checks. Okay, I just did a real time. I was just showing a quick 30,000 smackaroos here, a quick 30K, quick 30 bands, a quick 30 racks, okay, a quick 30 cheddar cheese stacks, okay, just a quick 30, just a quick 30, all right, on just a simple wholesale deal, just cash. Okay, just a casual 30 grand. How we can casually make 80 grand on a wholesale deal, casual 90 grand on wholesaling real estate deals. The reason I can casually go out here and make so much dang money on a wholesaling deal, and the reason you guys go out here and casually do it, and I don't even like using me as an example, right? I like using other people as an example, so you know the trade commissions don't get mad at me. I mean, all you have to do is just find people winning. Okay? Actually, no, screw it. I'm just going to go out here on their Discord. That is always fun. I mean, if I just go on our Discord, people tend to show more checks on Discord. I don't know why. But if you just go on our Discord, and let me pop this on. Let's see. I just got to put thanks, Zach. Thanks, Zach. Just search thanks, Zach on the Discord. And you're going to see more checks, more success, and more testimonials than anybody else. But like, all you have to do is just like show people in our communities winning. I mean, 32,000 right there. Nice little smackaroo right here. What we got? We got 20 bands from Sebastian. $65,000. Woo! 65,000 smackaroos from who is this? Who is this? Brady Clark, my guy. I mean, that was like last week. I mean, the reason why is just win after win after win. Here's Jaden right here.
My boy, it took you 3 hours, and I told you if you took my advice.
Oh, bro, is this guy selling a course? I don't have a course.
How you doing? My name is Antoine Toms. I'm gonna make this 40 years old because of this man.
Oh, he's selling a course, whatever. Peter going out here and making a quick $30,000. I mean, these are just people in our Discord just doing the deals and showing the proof. I mean, the reason why we get the fat checks and nobody else in this business does, just back to back to back to back to back to back fat stacks in this business, is because we go for the kill. We go for that nice deal. We go for that big fat commission, that not commission, but assignment fee. You guys get what I'm saying. We go out here and go for the low price, okay? Flow rider, low style, okay? We go for the low ball, and guess what happens? We get massive fat real estate deals. And so when you're going out here and talking about, oh, I wish I could make that. I'm making $3,000 or $4,000 on my deals, because you're so afraid to go out here and make lowball offers when the real money is in the lowball offers. So whenever somebody just goes and cries to me about, oh yeah, lowball offers suck. Oh yeah, no, that's not the right thing to do. Why are you bragging? You should make ethical offers and make $2,000. And I'm like, what part of capitalism says that I don't need to go out here and make millions of dollars? That's what I'm doing. I provide value in this marketplace, and that's what I do. I do everything above board, do everything ethically and correctly. But the whole basis of me lowballing people and just doing it as low as I possibly can is the reason why I have so much success. And so the principle of go for no, maybe you're a real estate wholesaling guy, maybe he or she's a realtor and they're trying to give you some realtor BS. I don't really care. But let me give you the Zach pitch, okay? I don't want your wholesaling real estate money. I'm not going to go sell you some course. I don't want any of your blood money on real estate wholesaling mentorship. My mentorship is free. It's simple. It's easy. Lowball like crazy. Find motivated sellers. Start getting deals. Go buy X leads, and just start compounding your growth. But like, how you get started in this business is so simple. Seek motivation, nothing else. When you are trying to go out here and trying to make that dough, make that money, okay? You should not be going out here and look for, you own a house. Oh my gosh, it's for sale by owner. Just because someone listed it for sale by owner, don't make it a wholesaling deal, right? A wholesaling real estate deal needs 1 to 2 things, at least one. The house has to be ugly, or the situation has to be ugly. Those are the absolute 2 simple reasons why a wholesale deal is a wholesale deal. The house is ugly or the situation's ugly. It's always best when both of it, right? The house is ugly and they're in a financial distress situation, and we go out here and help them out, right? So what I tell you to do is to seek motivation and nothing else. That is it. Seek motivated sellers, people that actually they have a need for selling, and you want to go make an offer on the property. That's what you do. I heavily don't think you should go after a house just because the house looks ugly. Now, usually the house is ugly and that means there's motivation, but you should always seek people that are motivated in a certain situation, right? So if somebody has a code violation, and the reason why I like code violations is if the house is really in a bad situation and the government's trying to charge them $10,000 in code violations, you could actually be a solution to give them an offer and help negotiate on their behalf to bring the code violation fees down. That's how you provide a value, right? And there's some situations where you can net them more money in like a pre-foreclosure sometimes in certain, not every situation, where they'll net more with you than maybe on an auction potentially, right? So you can always help people out, but seek motivation. Number 2, become a list ninja. This is super important. But the riches are in the niches. And so when I told you that everyone has data, I basically mean anyone can go to a software like X Leads, pull a bunch of data points, so just 60% equity in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and just start to cold call the list like crazy. Yeah, you're gonna still make a ton of money doing that. And it's great. You can make a ton of money doing that. But what I would probably push you to do instead is to get a little niche down your list. I would be pulling probates. I'd be pulling pre-foreclosures from the courthouse. I would be pulling liens, tax delinquencies, fire damage properties, the water shut off list, right? Lists that I teach in Wholesaling.com that you get for free. I actually have a whole spreadsheet of how to get pretty much every government list in the entire country for free, by the way. And what I would tell you to do is just get really niched out in your data. Of course, drawing for dollars, reverse drawing for dollars. If you want to do high equity, go out here and market to high equity in ways that most wholesalers don't. For example, I'm a broken record here, but I always encourage people to email blast. You can email blast like 25,000 people for free with what I call my EOG system. So my EOG system is my email offer generator. And for free, if you go to freewholesaling.com, I have a software that connects Gmail to Google Sheets. And so you just import all the emails into Google Sheets, press a button, and you're going to be able to send emails from Google Sheets to Gmail, which is crazy. And you just blast out email blasts. It's one of the most insane things I've ever basically been able to give and show people, but it's completely for free. And you can send 25,000 emails every single month. And still, it's extremely underrated right now. I truly believe in the next 2 or 3 years, most people are gonna start doing it even more. And then it's just gonna be a regular marketing strategy. And then everyone's gonna be like, oh, I remember 3 years ago in 2025, it was way easier to do it. Yeah, but you decided you didn't wanna do it. Same with digital bandit signs. I've been telling everyone for 2 years to be doing digital bandit signs. Now everyone's doing digital bandit signs. It's another way to win. So simple. So simple. Probates, all of them, right? And number 3, what I think is really important here too, is we need to just go out here and stop comparing yourself to others in this business. I see it time and time again, where a lot of you wholesalers will try to compare yourself to me or other wholesalers in this industry. And you end up being like, oh man, I'm not a millionaire by 20 like Zach. Like, my journey was completely different than yours. Where you start was completely different than where I started. Where you're gonna end maybe even better than me. Who knows how this wild ride's gonna end. But it's gonna end one day, which is kind of sad, but that's just life in general. But it doesn't matter. Like, your roller coaster, your ride, your journey, your story is completely different than mine. And the reason it's different is because you started differently, you grew up differently, and that's fine. Maybe you're in a better situation, worse situation. I would argue a lot of people are in better situations because you had freewholesaling.com. I didn't. But you just got to stop comparing yourself to other people. I really, really believe that if you just focused and stayed in your own lane, you're going to win. You end up actually going farther in a race by not looking where everyone else, especially when you're swimming. You can't look where everyone else, you just got to look at where you're at and just destroy everybody else in the competition. And so stop looking at what other people are doing. Just focus on your own thing and you're going to start winning. Now, I will tell you this. It is okay, though, to copy what other successful people are doing. So if you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I would highly encourage looking at other Tulsa, Oklahoma wholesalers that like to brag. There are a ton of people in every city that love to go on YouTube, they love to go on Facebook, they love to go to Instagram, and they absolutely love just to spill their guts on their secrets. They love going on podcasts to sell their coaching program by telling them exactly how they're making a ton of money in a certain market. And your job is to take that info and test it out. You want to use somebody's ego to your advantage here. And I have seen this happen a lot. One of my favorite ones was Sevierville, Tennessee. There's these kids that were bragging about how they're making all this money in Sevierville, Tennessee, and how they're the kings in this market and no one else is there. And they're just trying to flex, and I don't know, they're trying to pick up chicks in that Facebook group. I have no idea. But I just said, Roger that. And the guy was posting a check, and he posted the actual address of the property that he made $25,000 on. And so I said, oh, I'm just going to look up the address on public record. And then it was just like, Tennessee Home Rentals LLC. It's not the real one. And what I did was I called the cash buyer up. I said, hey, I just saw you bought 123 Main Avenue or whatever. I said, yeah. I said, you looking to buy any more? He's like, yeah, I'm trying to find as many wholesalers as possible. I said, okay. And guess what I did? I pulled a list, skip traced it, and cold called it. And then I started selling wholesaling deals to that guy. And guess what happened to those guys? I stole all their buyers because they just kept posting checks. And they're like, well, why aren't you buying my deals? Why are you buying Zach's deals? Well, Zach gives me better deals. Because I was willing to make $20,000 or $15,000 per assignment. I didn't want to do 25 on some of these, right? I just wanted the guy to make more money. So he started buying my deals except for that guy's deals. Because Centerville, Tennessee is now a massive wholesaling real estate cash buyer market. And I kind of squeezed a couple of these people. And am I proud of it? Yeah, a little bit. But when you want to be that guy that says, I'm wholesaling it, I'm the king in this market. Here are all the properties that just wholesaled. Yeah, I'm the alpha. It doesn't work in off-market wholesaling real estate because when you want to go beat your chest, the only way you could truly beat your chest and be the king is to show all the addresses of everything you're assigning. And what happens is all your cash buyers get stolen. And I know everyone doesn't want to talk about this, but when every wholesaler and their mom starts talking to your special cash buyers, which are secret, they tend to buy from them and then you kind of go on the back burner because now they have more options to buy from and you start making less money. So I've been pressed a lot from wholesalers that says, why don't you just post every address of every property you've done? Oh, here's the funniest part. People ask me that. Give me every address of every property you've closed in Florida in the past 2 years. Because just to show that you're legit. But they don't have the balls to say, give me all your cash buyers from your CRM right now. I want you to understand, that is the same thing you're asking. People think you're dumb. I'm the king. Let me give you all the properties I've wholesaled. And then all your buyers get stolen. And then you're like, wow, I'm making 50% less money than I was last year. You just shot yourself in the own foot. And so cash buyers are still a very, very, very important secretive thing. And I'm sorry, but your ego can really hurt you in this business, especially when you start beating your chest. And when you're not even selling a wholesaling program, you're beating your chest, you're just going to get it's a free market out here, guys. And if everyone wants to take your head in this business, this is just how entrepreneurship works. And if you give somebody an opening, they're going to take it. It's kind of like fighting. If you have an opening and somebody sees it, they're going to take it. It's a sad, sad, sad world out there, but it's just how it happens. It's just how the world works. And you should not give anyone an opening to steal your buyers. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I see somebody in my market who wants to brag about the addresses that they're doing, I'm just going to steal the buyers. And all is fair in love and war here. There is nothing unethical about that. I'm just being straight up with you. So if you want to complain to me, cry about it, oh no, how dare I do entrepreneurship? Or how dare I legally wholesale? I get a lot of people that like to complain to me that something else I do to get wholesaling deals, and I don't do it really too much anymore, but when I was coming up more in this business, people used to post, we buy houses, like Facebook ads, and I would just leave a comment and I just say, I buy houses too, but I'll pay you more than this guy. And I put my phone number, and I was getting a ton of wholesaling deals just inbound from that. Hey, I saw your ad on your competition's Facebook ad that said you pay more than him. I'm curious. I want to offer him my property. He offered me 100. Oh, let's talk. Can I meet at the house? And the guy was a virtual wholesaler. I was in person. Boom. And I used to get dunked on. There's this wholesaling YouTube guy. Not wholesaling. He's a real estate YouTube guy that he went on a 5-paragraph tirade against me. He said, it's super dirty and sleazy to go comment on someone's Facebook ad. I said, I literally commented back. And again, maybe it's because I'm stupid. Maybe I'm stupid, but I'm like, didn't Zuck leave a comment section on Facebook ads? Like, what? Why are you mad at me? Mark Zuckerberg, there's literally a comment section on purpose for you to comment. So why are you upset that I left a comment? How dare you comment on a Facebook ad? I'm like, Mark Zuckerberg literally has a comment section. What is wrong with you, bro? And I don't give anyone any light for, talking smack about me, but I think it was hilarious. But it was just like, sorry I commented, but like, if you're not going to check your comments, I'm just going to get inbound leads from it, right? And it's called guerrilla marketing. And I learned it from Rick, and it works really, really dang well. Just being honest with you. Number 4, show up every single day. I cannot stress this enough. You show up, you wholesale. You show up the next day, you don't want to show up, you still show up. The goal here is to show up in wholesaling every day, even when you don't want to. Let me repeat myself. You show up in wholesaling every single day. If you don't want to show up, then you still show up. That's how life works. Now, here's the thing. A lot of wholesalers will go out here and they stop showing up because they don't feel like it. It's hilarious to me. Because when you work a regular job, right? If you work as a waitress or whatever, right? And you don't want to go to work, well, guess what? That's 95% of Americans that are working 9 to 5 starting tomorrow, Monday morning in 12 hours, right? Ish. 11 hours, 45 minutes, right? That's what everyone does. They wake up, they don't want to go to work, but guess what? They have to go, so they do it because they got to feed their family and live in a house, right? The funniest thing about it too is in wholesaling, it's the same thing. You don't want to, but you somehow think, well, I don't have, there's not somebody who's going to fire me if I don't show up and just don't wholesale or cold call. So then you just end up not doing it. It's hilarious. It's very rare for someone to have a salaried job with benefits and stuff where they just, I forgot to go to work today. It don't happen. And until you start treating wholesaling kind of like a job, like you just have to go even when you don't want to, you're going to win. But there's this weird phenomenon in wholesaling real estate where when you don't want to go, you just simply I'm just not going to cold call today. And then you end up not doing deals. It's crazy. Crazy. Show up every single day. That is my best advice for anybody to start getting traction. All right. And if you're a guy or gal that for some weird reason, you're I'm just struggling. There are people getting started in wholesaling, and I want to give this advice for people getting started too. It's oh my gosh, if you're so new, you get really, really, really nervous talking to motivated sellers because I get people say, Zach, can I talk to you? Yeah, what's up? Can you just be honest with me? I'm like, yeah, sure. What? Aren't we lying to sellers? Aren't we actually lying to them? We're not being truthful or being fake? And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, well, when we tell them that we're actually going to buy the house, I'm not actually buying it. I'm actually taking advantage of them. I'm like, I want to smack the guy so hard in the head. I don't smack people, right? That's not right. I might take him by the shoulders and say, what are you talking about? Seriously, okay? You're not lying. You have a partner. You and him are going to buy the house together. The end buyer actually ends up buying it. So you guys are working together. You write the contract. It's still legally your contract. You assign it to him. He buys it. You bought the house with him. It's a partnership. He paid you as a finder's fee to fight. What are you talking about, bro? Well, when I'm talking to him, I actually don't have the partner. Okay, just reverse wholesale then. If that's if that's freaking you out at night, you can't sleep, then just go reverse wholesale. What's that? Well, reverse wholesaling, if you're really nervous, and some people are super nervous about this, right? I think it's weird, but some people it's a real thing in their mind. Well, let me tell you what you can do. Just reverse wholesale. That means before you even start marketing, right? Just find a cash buyer. Go to X Leads, go to the Dispo tab, find all of the flippers to all the landlords right there in the Dispo tab and just call them up, say, hey, looking to buy any houses in Oklahoma City. And like, yeah, I bought 4 this month. I'm looking to buy more from wholesalers. You a wholesaler? Yeah. You exchange information. Okay, cool. Boom. Now you have a partner. Then you find a cash buyer, start marketing deals, send hey, Billy, I know you told me you're buying 4 every single month and you're looking for 2 ones specifically under 1,000 square feet. Well, I have a 2-1 that's 940 square feet. Wow, Zach, that's exactly my buy box I told you. Anything that's a 2-1 below 1,000 square feet. Yeah, of course I'll buy it. I told you I'll buy anyone in that parameter. Wow, this is easy. And you send the deal to the buyer. He buys it and you sell it really easy. Now, that's not like the greatest way to maximize revenue, but it minimizes the risk. Like if you want to minimize the amount of like contracts that just kind of belly out or that don't go to the finish line, that's the best way to quote minimize your risk of having a contract and not being able to sell it. That is by far the fastest way to minimize that risk. Then last but not least, and probably the one I am super passionate about lately, is just being accountable to yourself and not a wholesaling coach. Now, we have a lot of issues out here in wholesaling of just people struggling. People struggling to stay accountable with themselves. And, I know individuals, and this is true, they're like, they physically can't work unless they have someone telling them what to do. And I'm like, well, you need a mom and dad at work too? Like, I don't know. You need a babysitter? But there are certain individuals, comment below if you know like someone like that. I know plenty, that they can't work unless someone's like constantly looking over them, telling them what to do and like kind of smacking them around here and there. Not like physically, but like, oh, hey, stop doing that. And they just have to always keep them on track. Like a babysitter, basically. That's what a manager is basically called sometimes. Not for everyone, but like, there's people like that where they just physically, this is so stupid. They just physically, for some stupid reason, they can't stay accountable to themselves. And that's a struggle. But the biggest skill set, if you want to start increasing your money and your consistency, is just start developing that skill set. And I promise you, self-accountability, discipline, whatever you want to call it, is one of the fastest ways to start making money. And it's a skill set that you can learn. It's not something you're born with, okay? But if you end up saying, hey, I need a cold call 3 hours a day, and you always end up forgetting to cold call for the day, that causes more crash outs than probably anything else that anyone ever says to me, is they forgot to cold call or they don't have the time to cold call. I legit have 23-year-olds tell me, I have 23-year-olds that live with their mama's basement that don't have a job that tell me they still can't find time for wholesaling. Don't get me started on that one. But you have to become accountable to yourself. Because if you can't be accountable to yourself, you're never going to be accountable. You're never going to be accountable for employees. You're never going to be accountable for your actual business. And a lot of people end up, for some reason, like they'll spend 10 grand to have someone basically babysit them. It's like a reverse babysitting. Like, you pay someone to babysit your child. You're basically paying someone to babysit you. Like, it's a little weird. It's like adult daycare. Wholesaling daycare? Yeah, it's basically wholesaling daycare where like you'll pay to go to a daycare so a wholesaling coach can watch you wholesale. It's just weird. It's borderline creepy. But some of y'all will pay a wholesaling coach to keep you accountable. And I'm like, well, where are they keeping you accountable? They make sure I hit my numbers. Like basically a manager. You just bought yourself a job, bro. Like legit, you're paying somebody so you work a job. It's just weird. But like, how about you just, use AI. Hey, AI, right? I want to cold call 3 hours a day. Can you keep me accountable for that? Sure. AI says, hey, did you cold call 3 hours today? No. Well, go do it. Well, I forgot. Well, you programmed me to remind you to do it, so go do it, please. I don't know. Like, the wholesaling coach does the same thing as that, right? They're not going to force you. They're not going to whip you. They're not going to go, put you in handcuffs and stop you from eating food until you get it done right. But like, it's so stupid. Okay. Like, it's so dumb. So what I'm telling you right now is stop trying to hire your own boss to boss you around. Like, I mean, I guess some people are really like into that. Someone like telling you what to do all day, whatever, right? But I'm telling you, just be your own boss. And learning that skill set is probably the most important skill sets you can have. Because, you know, I think a lot of y'all in here are aspiring maybe to be like a mom or dad one day. If your parents aren't around and you have a small baby, you know, no one's going to keep you accountable except for basically the law. Like, this is my favorite. Like, I always love like moms, like married moms of like 2 or 3 kids that say, I just forgot to cold call. And I always say, well, did you forget to feed your kids? I never forget to feed my kids. I'm like, why? It's a priority. I'm like, well, make cold calling your priority. Okay? Your baby is your wholesaling business. Go burp it. Okay? And you better feed that thing every day with leads. If you ain't feeding your wholesaling baby with leads, it's going to die. And if you don't feed your kid, I think you go to prison. So, you know, I guess the police is your boss there. But why don't you treat wholesaling like that? I always tell everyone, your wholesaling real estate business is a little cute little puppy. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's a cute little puppy. It's so tiny and cute. And if you feed it every day, it's going to get big and strong. And then it's going to be like massive and it's going to be awesome. And it'll play with you. It'll lick you, you know, cuddle with it, give it scratches, play fetch. But guess what happens when you forget to feed your puppy? Yeah, I'm not even gonna mention it. You know, I don't want to get all sad, but like, I know that's Zach. How dare you go there? No. How dare I go there? If you don't feed your wholesaling business, the wholesale business dies. Leads is water and food for your wholesaling puppy. Okay? You don't feed it. Okay? And like, think about this. A lot of y'all treat wholesaling like this. Oh, I'm going to cold call on Monday. I'm going to forget for 3 days and then cold call on Thursday. What happens if you say, you know, my little son, Timmy, I fed him on Monday. I forgot to feed him for 4 days. And then I fed him on the 5th day. Like, dude, that's abuse. You're literally abusing your wholesaling business. It's borderline child abuse on your wholesale business. Because your wholesaling business is a tiny little puppy. It's so cute. It's so fragile. And especially when you're starting out, if you just cannot go out here and feed the business, if you cannot nurture it so it can go big and strong, you'll do good. Now, the cool part about it is you end up like, I don't have any kids, right? But like, I generally, probably when you have like a 5-year-old, they're probably going to scream to you, I'm hungry. So that makes it a lot easier, I guess. But in the early years, you know, you just got to remember to feed your kid every day, which I think is pretty obvious, right? It's pretty easy to remember to feed your dog. You know, when you're eating, you feed it, right? And so my general rule of thumb is you need to feed your wholesale business just like you feed a little baby or a little puppy. Every single day, you give it love and care and nurturing. And you have to make sacrifices. You have to choose. Are you going to feed your TikTok addiction? Are you going to feed your social media addiction? Do you need to go watch the 6th hour of college football? I got bros out here, okay, betting on Delaware versus Delaware State on a 10-leg parlay, but they won't go out here and wholesale real estate. Don't even start on that one. The parlays are insane. Lord. I had a buddy who do a 9-leg parlay in the 8th leg, and then the last one was off by like a point. I was like, dude, you're like a degenerate, man. But you're higher, like, guys, I'm sorry, but I don't know if I have to be like harsh on you, but like sometimes you guys need the harsh truth here. If you do not feed your wholesaling business, the business will die. And maybe I have to make you think of your wholesaling business as a little cute little puppy, because you do not want that. You don't want to be that person that doesn't feed your puppy, because then you're a real jerk piece of work, okay? And there's a very special place for people that forget to feed their puppy, okay? And in my heart, there is zero excuse for someone that says, I just forgot to feed my dog. Like, I will legit put some MMA gloves on and we'll go to war in a cage if you mess up animals, right? I have a very, very soft spot for animals, especially dogs and cats. But I also have a soft spot for people that abuse their wholesaling business, okay? If you abuse it by not treating it well, and you just verbally abuse it by saying bad words about yourself, right? Oh, I can't do it. It's not going to work. It's too hard. Like, it's like talking to your little toddler. Say, you're terrible. You're never going to work. You're not going to be successful. Like, because when you talk to yourself and you start thinking to yourself that this business is hard, I'm never going to become rich and successful. You know, it's so dumb. And so when you speak into existence the words, so I'm going to try wholesaling, I'm going to do this business, that's how you become successful. So Zach ran over. But like, that's how you win. You have to show up every single day, feed the business, make the business grow and grow and grow, and you'll keep going. Same thing like a little puppy. You're feeding every single day and you say, this puppy's not growing. But if you just give it like a year and then you like look at a picture and be like, interesting. It's like, wow, that dog got really big over a year. I didn't even notice that. You know why you don't notice it? Because it's small incremental changes. Small incremental changes. And if you look back in a year, and that's why I love actually looking at tax returns, because you can actually see your revenue growing, especially when you look at like your balance sheets and your P&Ls every year. You don't notice it, but like you look at the P&Ls year and year. It's crazy.